Hey guys, this is Brad Varnell out in Las Vegas with the Slight Edge Living YouTube channel. Tonight I want to talk about living a life of responsibility versus a life full of blame. Today I had something happen to me. It got me kind of fired up. I have a friend that from work that started messaging me just whining about all of his problems and why it was his job's fault and this person's fault and that person's fault. And I finally told him, hey, look, man, you got to step up and take responsibility for your life before anything's going to change. It's not your job's fault. He knows that it's an on-call position, that some weeks he's going to make more money than others. It's been like that for years, and yet he's still having the same challenges financially, so on and so forth. So tonight, this video is all about taking responsibility rather than placing blame. I guarantee you that most, if not all, successful people live lives of responsibility, even when it ain't their fault. Because when you take responsibility, you take control. And winners focus on what they can control, and they get rid of the rest. If you can't control it, then get rid of it. You gotta take responsibility for where you're at in life, whether finances, your health, your marriage, your relationships. Don't blame your wife because you got a bad marriage. You gotta look and blame yourself even when it isn't your fault. I know this isn't a popular message. I don't expect this to be everybody's favorite YouTube video by any means, but it needs to be said. This generation of people especially, it seems like the younger the people are, the less responsibility that they want to take for any of the challenges or the problems that they're having in their life. I guarantee you that if you start to take responsibility and control over your life, things will change. Winners take responsibility, losers place blame. And that's just how it is. And I've been trying to teach my kids this for a long time now, right from the very beginning when they started blaming other people or their brother or their sister for their problems. We always tried to step in and say, hey, you know, I was late today because waking up for school because my sister her alarm didn't go off, so she didn't wake me up. And I told my son, hey, yeah, it's nice that your sister is waking you up, but it's not her responsibility. You're not late because of your sister. You're late because you didn't set your own alarm. Step up. Wake yourself up. You know, I saw a story on Facebook the other day that really frustrated me because the caption was disabled woman fired from job at Walmart because public transit system continually made her late. And the person that posted this, a pretty good friend of mine, somebody that I care about and love, you know, they were all up in arms that this lady had gotten fired, and several comments deep about how, you know, we should boycott Walmart and, you know, just unhappiness after unhappiness after unhappiness about Walmart. And I'm going to tell you, I looked at it totally differently. I didn't read the whole story and I don't know every single detail, so maybe there's some good merit there. Maybe Walmart did something wrong, but the way I looked at it was, disabled or not, it's your responsibility to get to work on time. If you have a job and you know what time you got to be there, you figure it out. You don't blame it on the public transit system. Guess what? If you got to start taking the bus an hour earlier in order to make sure that you're at work on time, and you sit there at work for a half an hour or 45 minutes with nothing to do because you got there too early, that's better than losing your job. My point is, and I don't want to place blame on the disabled lady. I'm not placing blame on Walmart. I don't really want to judge that exact situation, but I just want to use it to make my point that winners live a life of responsibility and losers live a life of blame. So if you want to start winning in life, start taking responsibility. Start figuring out where you have been placing blame on other things, other people, external circumstances, and start figuring out how you can take control of those situations and be in charge. Because when you take the blame, you take the responsibility, now you're going to be able to change the situation. If you're just a victim, there's nothing you can do. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, I was late today because of such and such, and then they say, but this is what I'm going to do to fix it and it won't happen again, fantastic. I can live with that. But if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I was late because of such and such, and I say, well, how are you, are you going to be late tomorrow? Well, I don't know. It depends on if such and such happens again. That's the wrong answer. If that person has that attitude, I'm going to have a talk with them and say, hey, no, that's the wrong answer. I need you to be here at a certain time tomorrow, so we need to get this fixed. We don't blame it on something else. We fix it, whatever we got to do to get it done. So folks, it's just so important in life to live a life of responsibility. I swear, if you really think about it and you start changing your thought process, instead of looking for things to blame, if you're trying to figure out why you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're blaming your boss and you're blaming the government and you're blaming too many taxes and you're blame, yeah, all of those things might be a contributing factor, but what can you do about it? What's in your control? You don't have control over your boss except for possibly going and looking for a new job. You obviously don't have any control over the government, but you don't have any control over taxes, although that's not totally true either. One of the things that you'll find out about wealthy people, successful people, is they work within the system. They pay a heck of a lot taxes, a heck of a lot less taxes, even though they're making more money than you and I. They're paying less in taxes because they're working with the system. So there's always a solution. If you're looking for an answer, the biggest reason to take responsibility versus placing blame is that it opens up your creativity. If you're taking responsibility, you can open up that creativity in your head and start looking for solutions. When you place and blame, your mind shuts off. It's not looking for answers anymore. Just a quick little bonus tip before I wrap up today's video. It's kind of like this. I tell people all the time, quit saying I can't afford it. How many times have you said in the last week or two, I can't afford it? It's a horrible, horrible thing to say. Winners don't say I can't afford it. They have changed their thought process, and instead of saying I can't afford it, a much better question or a way to think to yourself or to talk to your spouse is, how can I afford it? Because when you say, how can I afford it, you're turning on the creativity in your subconscious brain. Your subconscious brain starts looking for ways to figure out how you can afford it. When you say, I can't afford it, your brain just shuts off. It doesn't look for any solutions. It's, you can't afford it, so that's it. When you say, how can I afford it? All of a sudden your brain starts, well, you could, maybe you could borrow some money here. Maybe you could, get a part-time job there. Maybe you could start a side hustle and make some extra money on the weekends. All of a sudden your brain starts giving you ideas. All of the ideas going to be good? No. But you're turning on the creativity to your brain. Ask better questions. Instead of saying, why can't I lose weight? Say, how can I lose this weight? Because once again, if you say, why can't I lose weight? Your mind's going to give you a bunch of reasons. Your mind's going to say, well, because you're fat and you're lazy and you like double cheeseburgers. And, when you were 4 years old, you fell out of your high chair. I mean, you'd be amazed at how many negative thoughts will come your way if you ask yourself a question like that. Why can't I lose weight? Your brain will tell you all of the reasons that you can't. But if you say, hey, how can I lose weight? I'm frustrated. I'm tired of being overweight and unhealthy. How can I lose weight? All of a sudden, your brain will start coming up with some ways and some resources, some things that you didn't even think of. And all of a sudden, you're starting to make progress and you're heading in the right direction. If you have a mindset that is continually placing blame, it's going to take a little bit of time. But self-awareness is the key. And that's the whole reason that I'm here and doing these videos. I'm so excited. Today is day 5 of the 90-day challenge. And I got to tell you, I mean, I go through it. I mean, I'm here, I'm positive, I'm happy, and I've gone to the gym every single day, but believe me, my mind messes with me. It's trying to stop me. There's things that have come up, but it's just, I will not be denied. And every time an obstacle jumps up, how can I handle it? I've had audio problems, I've had video problems, I had all sorts of craziness happen on day 3, but like I told my son, who's being my cameraman today, hey, we'll figure it out. If we gotta, we'll run down to Best Buy or go someplace. We're gonna buy a camera if we have to today. I committed to 90 videos in 90 days. We're doing a video today. But once you have that mentality of, hey, I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to come back tomorrow and say, hey guys, sorry I didn't make a video yesterday. My camera wasn't working. Well, you get rid of that mentality and you start thinking and figuring out ways that you can be responsible and take charge. Your life will start to change. So thank you very much for listening to me today. Please go and hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that you can get notifications for the future videos that are going to be coming out over the next 85 days. And God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hey buddy, you might want to turn off the camera.